Rodger Goodell is either extremely stupid or extremely smart. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, couple of reasons why he's stupid. One, he makes decisions that just makes everybody scratch their head. Two, he can't win a big profile suspension argument, whatever you want to call it. It seems like he's always dropping the ball. However, whenever he drops the ball, that gets more immediate attention around the NFL. I don't think there's another sport. Excuse my phone going off. Excuse me. I don't think that there's another sport where CNN is talking about it. I don't think CNN talks too much about the NBA, about, FIFA or the World Cup and stuff like that, or the Women's Soccer League and stuff like that, and what happened this summer and stuff like that, or baseball. No, they talk about the NFL and what goes on in it. You know what I mean? Like CNN does. I ain't talking about like CNN Sports. I'm talking about just regular CNN. You know what I mean? So he's very smart because the NFL is always in the press. And a lot of times people say, bad press is good press, right? Like having the attention on you, even in a negative way, is good for business. So the point that I'm making is, last year we had the Ray Rice incident. Now, say what you will. Say what you will. And let me just make this clear. I do not condone domestic violence by any stretch of the imagination. That is dead wrong, totally wrong. No man should ever, under any circumstances, unless his life is threatened, like unless you got like some Hulk chick that's about to break your neck, then you probably can, defend yourself and give her the two-piece combo with some fries and stuff like that. But if it's not that situation, you should never, as a man, put your hands on a female. Now, let me get to my point. People who were complaining about the Tom Brady thing because the main word in the I guess findings in the investigation was probably. All right, a lot of people had an issue with that. So with the Ray Rice thing, we probably knew what happened in that elevator. We saw the end result of what happened in that elevator, but we didn't know what transpired. We didn't know what led up to that. Now, again, not condoning it, but we have all been there when you're in a relationship, husband, wife, fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, where your mate knows what pushes your buttons. Your mate knows what pushes your buttons. My wife knows what pushes my buttons. I know what pushes her buttons. I could get under my wife's skin right now. I could call her right now and get underneath her skin. Now, will she come back and stab me? Most likely not. I got a good woman. Now, if she does something to me, am I going to cold cock her? Most likely not. I'm a good man. However, though, I don't know Ray Rice. I don't know him. So clearly we saw what happened. However, before you saw what actually happened in that elevator, we could have said, well, maybe she was, egging him on. Maybe she was, talking a bunch of stuff. Now, again, I'm not condoning it. However, if she felt guilty any type of way, well, that might lead you to marry the cat that just gave you a two-piece biscuit with some extra fries. You know what I'm saying? So the point that I'm making is they got married right after the fact. So maybe, just maybe, she felt some guilt. Now, going back to the NFL's part in this. The NFL and Rodger Goodell should have done their due diligence to get that tape. You get that tape. If it was his daughter, if it was his wife, if it was his mother, his grandmother, his aunt, his nieces, he would have done his due diligence to see what happened inside the elevator. But because it's just some poor little girl that you don't know, probably don't care about, he's like, well, we see what happened, but I'm pretty sure she did something to him. So we're just going to suspend him 2 games, right? Just 2 games. 1, 2. 2 games for knocking a woman out. She was sleeping on the concrete. But then the tape does finally come out. A tape that the NFL most likely could have gotten. And now, he's kicked out the league. No team wants him. There's teams out there that could use a running back. They ain't touching. They ain't touching Ray Rice because of this. But if the NFL would have done this due diligence, if Rodger Goodell would have done their thing to get this tape, then there you go. There you go. Moving on to a smaller incident. There's a bunch of suspensions and stuff like that people don't agree with and stuff like that. However, Dominique Rioli, I believe he's a center for the Detroit Lions. Remember week 16? Detroit Lions are playing the Chicago Bears, I believe. He jumps, he stomps, he almost breaks dude ankles. He stepped on dude ankles so hard that dude was like out. Like he had to leave the game, he had to ice it, wrap it up, all types of stuff. And he gets suspended for a game. Now, I do not know the Chicago Bears player that he stepped on. Maybe y'all do. Maybe y'all could, enlighten me on it, but that's not the point. All I know, no matter who he is to his mama, to his wife, or whoever, he's technically a nobody in the eyes of the NFL. Why? He's some defensive end for the Chicago Bears. He is not Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Aaron Rodgers. The very next week, in week 17, and Ndamukong Suh steps. He steps on Aaron Rodgers. And of course, because it's not a court of law, these boys, they can lie all they want. I mean, anybody that believes that 50 Cent is broke, you just outside your mind. Like, seriously, he ain't broke. He's just lying about he's broke. Anyways, man, Ndamukong Suh, if you watch the tape again, when he steps on Aaron Rodgers, he rises 6 inches off the ground. This isn't baseball where there's mounds and bases on the field. This is football. The field is flat. You tell me in any scenario where you step on the field and you rise 6 inches. It just doesn't happen. So the fact that he just sat there and said, I didn't know he was behind it, and then they slap him with the fine? Well, they slap him with the fine because the very next week, Detroit is in the playoffs taking on the Cowboys. And you want the game to be close. And the Cowboys have a dominating running game. And the Cowboys led the league in rushing. They have the Marco Murray. They have the best O-line in the league. Well, we wanted Ndamukong Suh out there to make this game competitive. We want people to watch this game. So knowing Ndamukong Suh, even though your teammate did the exact same thing you did, and he got suspended for a week, you just have to pay a fine and you could play. And of course you think, well, fine, that's money. Well, Ndamukong Suh's in Forbes for like the top 100 richest people from this past year with his mega contract with the Miami Dolphins. So whatever his fine was really isn't that big of a deal. So now let's get to the point of Tom Brady. Enough babbling. Let's get to the point of Tom Brady. All they had to do was say, we want your cell phone, and document it and put it on paper that on this date we asked for Tom Brady's phone. That's all you had to do. Because going back to the beginning of the Ted Wells report, when Ted Wells said that he probably did this, I was okay with that. I was okay with Tom Brady getting suspended for 4 games because he probably did it. Now, I know what you're thinking. No, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not being guilty. This is not a court of law. If you work for me, if I own a company and I think you're stealing from me, I have a reason to think you're stealing from me or that you're lying to me, I could fire you. I don't need nobody's opinion. I'm the boss. I could fire you. Rodger Goodell, for better words, is the boss of the NFL. So he felt like you did it. Get suspended. 4 games, whatever. Now you could say, Miles, now we know you love Joe Montana, so you hate when people say Tom Brady better than Joe Montana, so this is not... Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's why I was okay with it, but this is not a court of law. So all the NFL had to do is say, we want your cell phone, and document what day they said that. So when he destroys his cell phone, you can say, no, we asked him on this day. So when he says, no, nobody said anything about my cell phone, well then, what you gonna do in the court of law? Now it's just he said, she said in the court of law, so of course they're gonna lose, Rodger Goodell. But this is why he's smart. Last year, I believe the first primetime game was Steelers-Ravens. Steelers-Ravens. The first game, I believe, Thursday night, Steelers-Patriots. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, do y'all think that that's some type of coincidence? Because I don't think so. I think everything is very strategic of what the NFL and Rodger Goodell does. Now, if they really wanted to see what Ray Rice did, they would have got that tape from inside the elevator. If they really wanted Tom Brady's cell phone, they would have let it known that they want his cell phone. Because again, if it was me, just little old me, you know what I mean? Black guy from Oakland, California, and the policeman or an investigator or detective wanted my cell phone, then I said, oh, I broke it, right? Most likely, they won't give a care because of who I am. And most likely, the judge didn't give a care because of who Tom Brady was. You see what I'm saying? And I think that the NFL knew that. So yes, the NFL, they want to stand by their 4-game suspension and all that stuff and take it to court. Like, really? You gonna take it to court? Because again, he ain't get suspended for the Super Bowl. They want to come a whole year later and try to suspend him. Why not suspend him for the Super Bowl? Because it's the biggest game of the year. So again, Rodger Goodell, he seems like he plumb dumb. But at the end of the day, he knows what he's doing.